full drinks, very full drinks, but not any more than I normally drink.
Who doesn't love seeing Karen get what she deserves? In today's video, we've got the best moments when airplane Karen faced instant karma.
You got it.
You paid this.
Don't grab me. Don't touch me.
Sit down.
Get ready to see something satisfying.
What paperwork do I have? Stop yelling.
Number 1, duct-taped Diva. Here we see a wild scene on a flight where a guy, clearly out of his mind, is causing chaos. He's yelling about his rich parents and how privileged he is, making everyone around him uncomfortable. Other passengers start recording him and making fun of his ridiculous behavior. He doesn't stop there. He starts fighting with the flight attendants. Things get so crazy that the passengers decide to handle it themselves. They duct tape him to his seat and even cover his mouth to shut him up. This spoiled guy got what he deserved from the fed-up passengers. Number 2, vodka tantrum takedown. We have got a classic airport disaster. A very drunk passenger gets into it with the cops and airport staff after being denied boarding.
Go, then deal with that him. Great.
She's furious, claiming she was unfairly accused of hitting someone with her phone in a rage. She had a couple of full vodka tonics at the airport bar and was feeling pretty good.
I heard you from all the way down there. Did she assault somebody?
As she berates the police, things take a turn for the worse.
She slapped, she's like trying to slap me.
Full drinks, very full drinks, but not any more than I normally drink.
In the middle of her tirade, she wets herself on the floor. Talk about adding insult to injury. Amid all the chaos, she keeps yelling.
I detain, and then I would like to contact my lawyer. Great.
And the airport staff says she slapped someone in the face with her phone. The police and staff try to handle the situation as best as they can, but it's clear they've got their hands full with this one.
Now, or yes or no? I do not have an option to a lawyer right now. You're telling me I do not.
This scene is a wild reminder that mixing booze with airports never ends well. Number 3, box cutter blow-up. Here we have a police body cam video showing an incident on a Frontier Airlines flight. A passenger was caught with a box cutter, causing the entire flight to deboard. You can see the police making their way into the plane, fully geared up, while the passengers are deboarding due to this one individual. As the police approach, they instruct the man to back up, and he falls to the floor.
Back up! Back up! Back up! Hey! Back up!
They arrest him, securing the box cutter. This one, entitled Kevin, caused the entire flight to deboard, creating chaos.
Walk right here, you're gonna be tasered.
Despite being arrested, he has the nerve to taunt the police, saying he's been arrested before and criticizing their handcuffing technique. Seriously, some people are just on a different level. Number 4, Margarita Meltdown.
Hey, what? What's going on? Talk to me. I paid for a flight. Yeah? Hold on. I'm sorry. Look.
Dallas Airport turned into a circus on March 14, 2022, when a male Karen lost it over his $2,000 flight. Furious that he couldn't take his bags on board, he started banging on the gate's partition and yelling at the staff.
I don't know how you get the long view, but hey,
if I spent $2,000...
When the cops showed up, he didn't hold back, hurling profanities and insults their way.
Am I not on a flight back to Longview?
What's your name?
Quigley. Q-U-I-G-L-E-Y. Put me on my...
His tantrum earned him a one-way ticket to getting arrested. Lesson learned: Being a male Karen with 3 margaritas in you is a recipe for disaster. Number 5. Meltdown at check-in. Here's a classic case of a Southwest Airlines agent trying to keep her cool while dealing with a full-blown meltdown. This woman was chewing her out for nearly half an hour, holding up the entire line behind her. The poor employee couldn't exactly pull a new plane out of thin air or hand out cash on the spot.
And 200 for the third person. Then let's get our vouchers so I can get another plane. And they were more than $200 tickets, so I want my money back.
But she kept her composure and did her best to help.
Available that I have tomorrow because there's 3 of you flying.
I'm not flying Southwest. I will go get on another plane, but I want money to go get on another plane.
Meanwhile, the folks in line were getting more and more frustrated, and who could blame them? The woman's partner wasn't helping either, yelling that he was going to lose his job because of the delay. Newsflash, buddy. It's not the employee's fault the plane broke down.
And wanted to do something about it then, and they told me to have a seat and we'll let you know when you're going to miss the flight. They tell us after we miss the flight.
The couple kept arguing, creating a scene, and making everyone's day a little worse. Despite the chaos, the SWA employee stayed professional and handled the situation with grace. Talk about patience. Number 6. Maskless meltdown. Madness. The officers are heading into a plane to arrest Karen, who is so entitled that she refuses to wear a mask. The air hostess and the police officer approach her, informing her that she needs to get off the plane.
Yep, you're gonna have to get off the aircraft.
Yeah,
okay?
and you're out there,
yep.
And I compliment you in that way.
She's a representative of the aircraft. They don't want you flying on their plane today, okay? So you're gonna have to get off the aircraft.
After they made us wait and wait and wait.
Karen immediately starts making a scene, claiming she was just expressing her opinions. The officer remains calm, explaining that she will be escorted off the plane and taken to jail if she doesn't cooperate.
Stand up, man.
Yeah, everybody is doing this.
You're gonna get arrested if you do not stop.
I'm already gonna get arrested.
You're gonna get arrested if you don't stand up and get...
Karen, however, is not interested in listening and starts screaming even louder. Eventually, she reluctantly stands up, but continues to argue and create a scene as they escort her off the plane. Outside the plane, Karen's behavior escalates. She cries, blames the officers, and calls them names, questioning their legitimacy. As she is handcuffed and led away, she continues to act like a child. Even as she is taken into the police station, Karen keeps up her relentless ranting.
Can we just adopt something that makes me want to be...
Telling the officers her constitutional rights she clearly doesn't understand. Number 7. Luggage Lunacy.
In the airport? In public? You said the N-word?
At the airport, the staff found a ridiculously heavy suitcase weighing 77 pounds and thought it might belong to a homeless person. So they decided to check it out.
Me.
Yeah, well, not that I can't.
Yeah, you don't want to look in there.
But it's like...
You don't want to look with no gloves on and...
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
The manager showed up and told the staff that the woman who owned the bag wouldn't be flying due to other issues. Then, in comes this woman, clearly drunk and with way too much luggage. She starts yelling offensive language, including the N-word, right there in public. Another passenger quickly calls her out.
Excuse you, that's your Go get it! Get downstairs, lady.
She tries to gain sympathy by claiming her mother is dying of cancer and that she's too drunk to carry her luggage, hoping someone will carry it for her.
You're gonna get arrested. That's what, excuse you? No.
Her attempt to get a free pass fails miserably. Number 8. Bar tab brawl.
What's going on?
He walked his tab and refused to pay.
This guy here?
Yeah. Says he's a vet and I shouldn't be trying to get him to pay.
He didn't pay.
A police officer is called to the airport because a man refuses to pay his bar tab.
You got it.
You paid this.
Don't grab me. Don't touch me.
Sit down.
The man, who seems drunk, claims he's a veteran and doesn't need to pay.
Talk to me like I'm a little kid.
Okay, don't talk to me like I'm not a police officer. Okay, sit down. We're gonna get this figured out.
The officer asks him to sit down and tries to sort it out. The man gets angry, swearing and threatening the officer, saying he paid with a credit card, but the bar staff says he didn't.
The service.
I prayed.
You prayed?
You want to be a smartass?
The officer asks for a receipt, but the man can't provide one and gets more upset. Another officer arrives to help. They try to calm the man, but he keeps arguing and refuses to cooperate.
What do you...
I've got all the money and I have no clue what her deal is. I really don't.
Okay, they said that you didn't pay the tab.
He brags about his military service and taunts the officers. The officers try to check if he paid his bill, but he can't show proof. He finally agrees to go back to the bar to pay, but causes more trouble and resists the officers.
Oh my goodness.
It's all right. It's all right.
Man, I'm so sorry.
When we bow up to each other, it
when
just
that-
becomes a whole other thing.
Like some...
The situation gets worse.
Do you know where you're at right now? You know what airport you're at? Come, we're gonna pay this. Come on. Come on.
Don't grab me, Austin.
And the officers have to physically restrain and arrest him. Number 9. Drunken Diva detained. Here we see a woman who's had one too many drinks arguing with airport staff. She's been told she can't board her flight because she's too drunk. But does she accept it gracefully? Of course not.
Stop. They're gonna make it work. Stop.
She goes into full meltdown mode, and the airline staff have no choice but to call the police.
At the end of the day, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I could call. No, hang up.
You can call and complain.
You're right.
As the police arrive, she's still going at it, refusing to calm down. The officers try to reason with her, but she's having none of it.
What paperwork do I have?
Stop yelling. You're gonna go to jail.
No. So take me to jail.
I don't want to.
Then I do so.
She's loud, aggressive, and uncooperative. Basically, your classic airport meltdown. Eventually, things get so out of hand that the police have to step in and physically remove her. It's a chaotic scene, with her arguing the whole way. You'd think she'd realize that making a scene isn't going to help her case. But no, she's committed to her tantrum. She was then arrested for not leaving, and then she had another meltdown because now she wanted to go home. Like ma'am, they were telling you to go home and you argued. Number 10, jealous wife. Here we catch a passenger recording a drama-filled moment on a plane. A woman is loudly accusing her husband of checking out other women. Whether he did or not, her reaction is way over the top. She's seated next to him, throwing a fit, while the flight crew tries to calm things down.
And you ain't gonna tell me you looking at other women.
They even remind her there's a kid behind them, but she couldn't care less. The flight attendant finally has enough and tells her to leave the plane. That sets her off even more, and she starts hitting her husband right there in front of everyone. It's a total mess, and you can't help but think how different things would be if the roles were reversed. Number 11, terminal bar drama. Here's another wild airport saga for you. So, it's just before 3 p.m. on a sunny December day, and the airport police get a call about a very drunk woman refusing to leave the Gasparilla bar. Meet Melanie Burnett, who's been at the airport since 7:30 a.m. trying to get back to Philly, but her flight got cancelled. Melanie is flirting with paramedics, slurring her words, and generally making a scene. She keeps talking about some guy named Dustin, who she claims is her boss. The police quickly decide they need to get her out of the terminal bar and start looking for a wheelchair because she's unsteady on her feet. The police tell her to call her boyfriend or anyone who can come get her, but she's too out of it to manage that. Finally, her boyfriend shows up and the officer hands her over, telling him to take care of her. But Melanie isn't done yet. The officer, having had enough, arrests her as she has a full-on meltdown. 14. Karen bites officer.
No, I live in Phoenix. I live in Phoenix. All right. And I would like to have my flight that I am actually scheduled to. Yeah.
This video is a classic example of a drunk Karen moment at the airport.
Baggage. I don't have Hold on to the rail for me. Have baggage.
After being denied her boarding pass for being too intoxicated, she was told by airport staff and police officers that she had to leave since she wasn't flying anymore.
Okay, on the way. Call him. I want to see how far out he is. Well, you don't really get to choose how far out he is.
But instead of just leaving, she decided to argue endlessly. The police kept telling her to call an Uber or get someone to pick her up, but she just wouldn't have it.
Do you really want to do that?
No, choose that. Seriously, I have lawyers.
Call your husband. Do you really want to do that, though?
Then, in a move straight out of the Karen playbook, she bit a police officer and proudly announced it.
Stop!
Damn it! Ha ha! She just bit me. Yeah, I did. You know, I was going to have...
Despite all their efforts to peacefully get her out, her refusal turned the whole thing into a ridiculous scene.
Son of a bitch.
Talk about making a bad situation worse.
One phone call to a lawyer. One phone call to a lawyer. That's all I want. Please let me call my lawyer. All I want is to call my lawyer.
Number 15, Kevin busted.
What's going to happen is you're going to leave the airside, sure, and then you go down to the ticket booth.
This video shows a man being kicked out of Tampa International Airport on November 2022.
Why are we doing this,
Because that company's not letting you fly.
No, guys.
And when they tell you to leave...
Hey, guys.
Authorities said this Florida man lost his right to board because he was acting belligerent. Naturally, he was arrested for disorderly conduct.
Put your shoe on. Put your shoe on.
What do I do, though? Is this where my life?
You're intoxicated. They won't let you board. They won't you. Put your shoe on. Put your shoe on.
Despite being visibly drunk, this Kevin tried to act like he wasn't, insisting he was in the right and the police and airport staff were wrong for not letting him fly.
First of all, you're not even listening to me. I'm asking you to sit down. That's what I'm asking you to do, and you're not even listening to that.
Well, what am I doing wrong?
You've been drinking.
You're trespassing.
You're intoxicated.
You're intoxicated. You're trespassing.
I get up through your head. I can smell the alcohol in your breath. Oh, I get. Just back up.
The police officers kept warning him that his behavior would land him in jail, but he just wouldn't listen.
So you can't be on the air side. So we're going to make sure you get off at the main terminal.
Classic Kevin move. Just look at his eyes. Anyone could see he was drunk. In the end, he was arrested, wrapping up the whole ridiculous scene. Number 16, bar brawl boarding nightmare. 3 passengers from San Diego missed their flight because they couldn't hear the boarding call over the bar noise. One of them, Kevin, is noticeably drunk and causing a scene. The airline staff, trying to help, informs his friends that if Kevin keeps drinking, he won't be allowed on the next flight either. Kevin stands there, beer in hand, giving the staff a hard time and insisting he's perfectly sober.
Not drunk. Do I seem drunk? Tell the truth.
He keeps asking everyone around if he looks drunk, as if that's going to change anything. The airline staff, doing their best to stay patient, warned him that his current state might get him booted from the plane. Kevin, of course, doesn't take this well and starts getting defensive, claiming he's not drunk, and even starts throwing around the I'm famous card. He's not making a great impression and seems to think his fame or infamy will save him. Ultimately, Kevin gets denied boarding. Luckily, he doesn't escalate the situation. Number 17. Flight Fiasco Meltdown Madness. This video captures a dramatic airport meltdown by a drunk woman who missed her flight. On March 2nd, 2021, Broward County sheriffs were called to Fort Lauderdale International Airport because a customer at the Spirit Terminal had gone off the rails.
Pay for my next ticket, because I'm not paying for these.
After drinking at the bar and falling asleep, she woke up to find her plane had taken off 45 minutes earlier. When she learned she wouldn't be flying that day, she got even angrier and tried to assault the staff.
Pay for the next pay for it, period.
Come talk to me, please.
I'm talking to you, bro.
Oh, relax.
They should have let me on this.
The police arrived and informed her that she had to leave the airport since she was no longer a passenger. This news didn't sit well with her, and she went into full meltdown mode, crying, screaming, and resisting arrest. Despite her protests and claims of innocence, the officers tried to calm her down.
Then what happened? Well, you were sleeping, you woke up.
I woke up to them complaining about me. I don't understand what the problem is.
What were they
I
complaining
just want to get on the plane. I just want to go home.
Instead, she continued her outburst, refusing to leave and making a huge scene.
All right. If you don't stop now, you're gonna have to come with me and go to the county jail. If that's what you want, that's what we can do. It's up to you right now.
Eventually, they had no choice but to arrest her. Number 18. Kicking, screaming, Karen chaos. At Salt Lake International Airport, a woman went full-on Karen, causing such a ruckus that Delta had to kick everyone off the plane. She was so out of control, kicking police officers and throwing a tantrum, that people started recording her. The police had no choice but to arrest her, but not before she put on a show.
And the girls let me sit where I wanted to sit, and then they took me off the plane.
Her over-the-top antics delayed the flight and gave everyone else a front-row seat to her meltdown. Classic Karen behavior at its finest. Number 20. Pilot punches, airport panic. On April 2017, at Kansas City International Airport, a flight from Dallas had just touched down at Terminal C. Our main characters today are an off-duty pilot and an angry passenger who we'll call Kevin. During the flight, Kevin got all worked up because he thought the pilot was taking up too much space in the aisle and being disrespectful. So Kevin decides to follow the pilot through the terminal, trying to provoke him. At one point, he even pulls out his phone to snap a photo of the pilot's badge. The pilot, clearly not in the mood, swats the phone away. This only fuels Kevin's rage, and he starts pushing the pilot, trying to pick a fight. Swinging gate, agent drama. Oh boy, get ready for some wild airport drama. In March 17, officers got called in because this lady was having an epic meltdown. She was so out of it that she even swung at a gate agent. Clueless about where she was, she just kept crying and making a scene. People tried to help her, but she was having none of it. The police tried to escort her out, but she refused to cooperate. Things escalated, and she got herself arrested. But she didn't make that easy either. She kicked and screamed, making it impossible for the officers to get her into a wheelchair. Then, when they finally got her in the police car,
Stand up.
No!
she started yelling and abusing the officers, screaming like a maniac.
You got a camera? Partner over here has a camera. File. You turn on your front camera.
It was pure chaos, proving some people just can't handle their drinks. Classic Karen moment. Luggage toss, meltdown. Oh, we've got a classic Karen meltdown on our hands. On October 22nd, 2023, officers were called to a plane because a very drunk woman was causing chaos. She threatened to kick the flight attendant's ass and even threw her luggage at them. When the police arrived, she tried to spin the story.
Bag,
No, you're fine.
whatever you want. I don't
Do you have
care.
your ID on you?
Yeah, it's in my, Yep, it's right here.
Claiming the attendants were being mean to her, but the officers weren't buying it.
You want to put your phone down?
Oh.
Okay. Alright, go ahead and put your hands behind your back. Okay, you're going to be placed under arrest for public intoxication, okay?
They deemed her too intoxicated to handle herself and placed her under arrest.
Am I able to talk to anybody or anything?
Yeah, so as soon
You
as
got whatever you need. I'm not like a racist. You
as
got
soon as you
whatever
get down
you
to
need.
the jail.
Once cuffed, this Karen went full meltdown mode. She started kicking and screaming, making it incredibly difficult for the officers.
I'm right here. Right Stop. Here.
They tried to put her in a wheelchair, but she wasn't having any of it. She continued to resist, causing a scene that no one could ignore. As they finally got her into the police car,
You want to take me for what? I didn't do to none of y'all.
she began abusing the officers and screaming like a maniac, turning what could have been a simple situation into an absolute spectacle. This was one for the books. And there you have it, folks. Nothing beats watching Karen get a taste of their own medicine. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more satisfying moments of instant karma. Safe travels, everyone.